Sammy show on GB News. The first thing you'll notice is the new studio, paid for by the Unionist Party, and bottom actually made by Dreamers RBX. Thank you very much, Dreamers RBX. Secondly, the thing many of you may be here for is the result of our voter intention poll coming out in a few minutes' time. I haven't seen the results yet, so I'm looking forward to that myself. We'll also be interviewing many guests including the Unionist leader, I'm not a safe chatter, Child Neje or African Crack Shop, a UK developer, and Alpha Pidge, a sergeant in the Royal Marine Corps. I'm Sammy, this is GB News, and we're back. First thing, let's look at the poll. So, here you'll see here, let's expand on it. The Conservatives have around 48% of our poll, with the Unionists falling behind with 35% of the vote. Labour appears to be the biggest losers of this poll, no surprise because Dean's an idiot, receiving a measly 13% of the vote. And the Christian Social Party of Scotland only received 3% of the vote. LOL! Right, let's go into the seat count now. So if we'll show poll 2 quick. As you can see, the Conservatives under Margaret Almonte just get a working majority with 25 seats. The Unionists lag behind at 18 seats, and Dean's Labour with only 6 seats. Lol, maybe because he alienated everyone and nobody likes him because he didn't do anything last term at all. And the Christian Social Party receiving just 1 seat. Even bigger lol, apparently. So, what I'd like to do first is get our CEO, Andre Hodge, to come on and tell us what he thinks about these poll results.
Whoa! Now that is quite some poll results, Sammy.
It is, yeah.
I think that the Unionist Party and Safe Chatter, who we luckily have on for his live reaction, are going to be very upset with that poll.
I think they will be, yeah. Because they were probably expecting a big majority this time.
Yeah.
They had ruined themselves, and this could have been their moment, couldn't it?
The Tories have once again come out of hibernation and have shown that no matter what any party does, everyone just by default votes for the Tories.
Yeah, because realistically, 90% of this group is Tory 12-year-olds.
They are Tory 12-year-olds.
Exactly. Okay. So what do you think about the Christian Social Party, though, how they've been going? Because they are predicted a seat, and I find that quite surprising, personally.
Yeah, I find that quite surprising as well. Think that, especially after their performance on the debate where they showed that they knew absolutely nothing about the UK, and the fact that they're going about devolving Scotland, which is literally the most useless idea ever because it would provide no activity to the group at all, just retract from activity and develop a time. I am surprised that they do have voter base, but we did see this with, what was it, the British, or the National Party, yeah, Social National Party, whoever it was, the one where just a bunch of random people just came together and made a party. If you have a party and you promise people cabinet positions, then you're going to get votes.
At least like 1 seat at least. If
exactly,
you get like
1 seat.
20 guys to come with you.
I wonder if they'll disband or not, or if they'll...
I think they probably will. I think
stick out.
Doug, though, he's one of those guys where he's quite big in UK politics, but everyone else around him, no one's ever heard of ever before, have they?
That's true.
It's just a random...
It literally is just Doug carrying the party.
It is, yeah. So I think it'll be it'll be quite like how Nathan's and the Reform Party was. So as soon as Doug leaves or Nathan leaves,
think
the party will just die.
I don't think we can be comparing the
it's a similar sort of thing. So the Reform Party was completely dominated by Nathan's, and as soon as Rubber took over, no matter what she did, it just died because it was a terrible management. And
it also was completely steamrolled by the Lib Dem.
That's true.
Campaigning machine.
Lib Dem landslide with the propaganda which we could do.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Andre. I think we'll go to our first interview now with UK developer. I've forgotten his name. African Crack Shop. So, African Crack Shop, if you can come join me in the interviewing area.
Remember to ask me a question about clear development, okay?
We're live still, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So here we are with African Crack Shop. He's a UK developer. What I want to ask you, African, because I got told not to ask you this, what are the 3 things you've done to Westbridge to improve it since becoming a UK developer?
Number 1, I personally have actually created restaurants in game, which can now be entered and used by companies as well.
Is this just adding lag loads to the game?
No, because we have optimized the game very well.
Is this the same optimizing that Nick Medhurst uses for his game?
No, this is made by D. Limerick Dan, who is much better than some guy called Towerblock Nick Medhurst, who is a very bad developer and is banned from the Westbridge team crate for being bad.
Is he? Okay. Now you are a major business owner, aren't you? Or of a big company.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am the CEO of Clearly Development, the leading tech company.
Oh wait, we're not supposed to be sitting here. We just go back over here.
Oh.
Oops. Okay, we're back.
As I was saying.
Yeah,
I'm the CEO of Clearly Development. We are the leading tech company, and we actually have the King of the United Kingdom, Joseph Wellesley, working for us. That's how cool we are.
That's pretty cool. But would you like to be able to register in the UK as a company with the company's house? Do you think that could be a cool concept?
I think that would be an amazing concept, and I would love that.
So, if you were to vote in the upcoming election, who would you vote for?
I would quite obviously vote for the Conservatives, as they would benefit my business and benefit my love for the Conservative government.
So you are one of those 12-year-old Conservative supporters?
Indeed, I am.
Excellent, excellent. So, rumours have it, though, we've had it recently, where there's going to be a prison system added to Westbridge for the Ministry of Justice to use. Is this going to be happening anytime soon?
Well, we are currently working on a feature for that. However, due to the effort that it requires to make an entire prison and put it inside Westbridge, and due to lag issues, it will not be released for a very long time. And
so, can we get a possible ETA on that? Is it 6 to 10 working years? 6 to 10? Okay.
A very long time is all I can really say.
So, African Crack Shop, you heard it here first. The Ministry of Justice is going to be dead for, and I quote, a very long time. Because UK devs won't be able to do it for a very long time. It's been great having you on, African. Make sure you check out Clearly Developments. It's pretty cool, I hear. Thanks for coming on. I think we're going to go to our next guest now. I'm Noah Safe Tratter, the leader of the Unionist Party. Okay, Safe Chatter, come up here, and then African, get out of here. Okay, so Safe Chatter, what did you think of the debates the other day?
The one yesterday?
Yeah.
As most people will know, I wasn't there to be on it, obviously, for
Do you think Ben
reasons
did a
in
good
real
job?
life. I listened to the end of it. I think Ben did a brilliant job for, I think, his first debate. Debate itself wasn't the best, obviously, but for a new media company, hosting their first debate was fine.
Okay.
Experience for them.
So, this is what I want to know. There are accusations going about that Ben and Monkey were just arguing and between each other and destroying a possible coalition deal. Do you think there could be a coalition between the Liberal Unionist Party and the Conservatives to cock-block Dean into forming a government? Do you think this could happen?
I presume you mean the Unionist Party, yeah?
Yeah. Wherever you are.
Realistically speaking, I'm sure a lot of us will have seen the slander, or not slander, the beef or banter or whatever you want to call it between the Unionists and the Tories. I don't think coalition is realistic at this point.
Okay, so you're ruling out a coalition with the Conservatives.
I am not ruling out a coalition, I'm saying it is little unlikely.
If you had to coalition with any party, what party would you coalition with currently? Because
it would depend on the voting results.
Okay, and what do you think those results will be? Because we've just released our poll. Are you happy with that? Do you think that's good for you? Or
we didn't tag as many times as other parties. Obviously, there weren't too many votes in it, and that we had 47, and they have a 500-member Discord. But I think there's a positive side to it.
Okay, and what is that positive side?
Tories Discord, half of the membership is dead. They never get more than about 70% of their Discord to vote, giving us a decent advantage on it.
Right. And how's your Discord growth been in the last few days? Have you been growing well?
The last 2 days consecutively, the Unionists have had the biggest growth.
Okay, that's
as
pretty
I'm
good.
sure the Tories would love to hear.
Yeah. So, this is what I want you to tell me now. What are you going to do for the Ministry of Justice to make it active?
African Crackshop, absolute brilliant UK dev, has said that the prison cannot be implemented yet. This is not a problem. The Unionists have an alternative plan. We don't need to use the courts. We can still use prison. Sorry, we can still use prosecutions within the Ministry of Justice to get out financial penalties as outlined in our manifest.
So you're going to be introducing financial penalties into Westbridge for people who commit crimes.
Yes.
Do you not think that's going to hurt Westbridge and the player base there
No.
by taking their money away?
It isn't going to hurt Westbridge because realistically, it's the only thing that's possible. And money doesn't hold too much of value in Westbridge. Obviously, it does hold some value, which is why we're prosecuting from it. But
how much money would you take, for like a murder, which is a pretty average crime? Let's be realistic in Westbridge. Someone goes and buys a machete for 300. They go stab up, I don't know, like an NWAS roleplay. What would happen to them?
We haven't discussed that sort of thing yet. We're still waiting for
no actual like physical plans on the numbers of how much you're going to take.
We haven't got the numbers yet. That's the only thing we haven't got.
So when are you going to have these numbers? Because this is going to be a pretty big thing for people who play Westbridge.
I presume it'll be somewhere between about 700 to 5,000. 700 to 1,000. 700 to 1,000. Sorry.
Okay, so because that's about 30 minutes worth of gameplay there, which you've just taken the money away from.
Well, that's what happens. It's crime, isn't it? Obviously, we're not encouraging people not to do crime. We're not encouraging. Crime is part of the game, which is why we're encouraging people to still play the game. Obviously, if they're prosecuted, they're gonna still want to do crime, but they're not going to be banned from the game like they used to be. It's just a financial penalty rather than.
Because I think, and how are you actually going to take this money away? Because currently,
we'll be working with in-game admins. The police have a fine tool, so we could use that. We'll still be talking with admins and developers.
Right. So, but one of the main things that you're just taking away activity and fun from people who actually play like the UK games, such as the criminals and people, and giving it to people who don't play the games, to people who work in the Ministry of Justice, who are, let's be realistic, Roblox law bangouts, who are the worst form of sadness, personally, in my opinion. And they're there doing their stupid law things, and you're going to give them activity at the expense of someone who's actually having fun in the game.
It's not at the expense of anyone. Typically, if someone's going to buy a weapon, they've already got a bit of money because they're quite expensive in Westbridge. So if someone's also going to take the risk to attack a police officer that could be recording, or if someone puts it to the Ministry of Justice and it's prosecuted, they're going to have the money to pay it off. And it's not like we're going to make them bankrupt. We're not going to pick it out their pockets and empty their pockets.
So what do you think about the most recent Secretary of State for Justice, Kamala, and how she's been running the Ministry of Justice recently?
Kamala just didn't have the experience. It's the same with the entirety of the Labour Party, pretty much. They don't have the experience that's needed to run the country, and it showed off.
Okay. How do you feel about the fact that in the Labour manifesto we were promised mock trials, trade unions, and none of that's happened?
They've done a Conservative Party that haven't fulfilled their promises.
Okay. And do you think they're going to be hurt for this in the polls when they come out?
Sorry, say again.
Do you think they're going to be hurt for this? So when the election results come out, do you think they're going to be attacked?
I still think they'll get some seats. I still think they'll get a decent number of seats. Just not as many as they'll have hoped for.
And do you think voter turnout is going to rise in this election?
Yeah, I do, 100%.
Okay.
There's a lot more people engaging with voting this term.
Yeah, because last election we saw probably the biggest decline in voter turnout in the last
election was dead, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the last election was so dead?
Because I was banned from campaigning. That is the sole reason, I'm telling you.
It probably was. Because one of the statistics that really jumped out to me was Dean actually lost votes in the last election from the one previous to it. Dean went from 154 votes in the election between me, him, and Binny to only 150 votes and a majority government. And yet, what do you think about
that? It was a minority, but it just shows, really.
And how are you going to try and get people actually interested in road politics?
Well, really, politics. Everyone in the group that plays an active role, whether they just play Westbridge, they work in BAS, they do whatever. Politics can have an effect. It's just getting people involved, really. Getting people informed is also one of the main things.
Okay. And you didn't actually tell me how you're going to get people involved. How are you going to get people involved?
Well, publicity is a massive thing. Not just to
how are you
singular
gonna do
parties,
that?
but politics as a whole. DMing people mainly.
So you're going to go through people's DMs and just spam
No,
them?
not entirely. Obviously,
Okay.
posters help, but not everyone
Okay.
was getting involved in politics. Obviously, people think it's cringe, which is fine for them to believe.
Okay. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to bring on a member of BAF, Sergeant Alpha Pidge from the Royal Marine Commandos. Alpha, if you just come up for me quick. Alpha is the perfect example of someone who's incredibly active in the UK in everything but politics, and he doesn't like politics, do you, Alpha?
No, I hate politics.
Okay, so Alpha, I want you to explain to Safe Chatter what you find just boring about it. Why don't you like it?
Roblox politics is very, very bad. It is very, very boring, and it's very difficult to comprehend. You should join the Royal Marines instead.
Okay, so Safe Chatter, how would you approach someone like Alpha? Because he is the typical BF voter who, while being like active in the UK, he doesn't care about politics. He's just there to go shoot people like Agios or Bios, and that's it. How are you going to get him to vote for you?
First of all, I must applaud his acting skills. Very good. Secondly, I think it's definitely just not about being a robot. It's about actually engaging with the community, talking to them, making conversation with them. Because you don't want to just go into someone's DMs and spam the same join politics. You don't want to force it down their throat. You want to be nice and approachable.
So I want you now, in the next 2 minutes, to convince Alpha to vote for your party. Explain to him your best policies, which are going to help him and make his time in the UK more enjoyable.
Hello, Alpha Pidge.
Hello, I am not a Safe Chatter.
What jobs do you currently have in the United Kingdom?
I am a sergeant in the Royal Marines.
It's such an
Well,
NPC
just-
conversation.
Yeah, it is a little
Is
bit
Alpha be normal?
It is a little bit cringe, isn't it?
Please continue to convince me.
Do you have any other jobs within the United Kingdom?
No, because they're all cringe. BF holds everything that's key.
I see. Do you have an active role within Westbridge? Do you play Westbridge a lot?
Not particularly. I'm speaking on behalf of the people with the potato PCs. And, you know, Westbridge is for those who have NASA computers.
Like me.
It's very, very pointless. And you shouldn't be a rogue politician on there. You should.
I
play
understand
BA.
that. See, the UK does not only revolve around Westbridge. Obviously, it is centred on Westbridge because it's the main game, obviously. But there's a lot more aspects to it than just Westbridge. For example, private jobs that are not just within Westbridge. For example, media companies. There's lots of them out there that you can get involved in. Have you ever considered joining a media company?
Yes, I'm a part of Forces News, documenting the current state of the armed forces through photographs.
I heard Forces News is pretty epic. Is that right?
I disagree. I think
Yes,
it's trash.
it's quite good, although the CEO is quite a knob.
I heard that's Charles Chapman you're talking about.
No, I heard it was I'm not a Safe Chatter.
I
But
think
anyway.
you must be wrong there.
Anyway,
Anyway, do you think people should follow Forces News?
I do. I also think that people should join the Royal Marines today. We have
Okay.
many exciting roles.
I
especially
must
Boarding
agree with you. The
Commander,
Royal Marines are
Lieutenant
pretty
Commander.
awesome.
Okay,
I
one sec. Can we
agree.
just pause for a second? Why is Josh Miller about to kidnap me and take me to Weatherspoons? I'm quite scared.
Don't worry, Sammy. We'll get the Royal Marines to save you. Do not
Alf,
worry.
Can you please take away Josh Miller? Who's
Yes,
The
about
Royal
to...
I
Marines
will.
will save you.
Come here! Come on.
Get him out! Get him out of
Let's
here!
go. Role play. Give me a sword.
Okay.
I
Right.
just
So
feel
now
like-
that we've got those crazy gamers out of here, Safe Chatter, what do you think about Margaret? Tell me what you think.
About who?
Margaret, the leader
Oh,
of the Conservatives.
Margaret. As a person, quite nice. Obviously, as a politician, it's a whole new story. Margaret can't be committed with her job. She fell asleep before an election debate. Pretty much says it all. She can't handle her job as a Home Secretary. She can't commit to it. What
Like,
says
what
she'll
happened
be
when
able
she
to
was
commit to
Secretary?
primaries?
Tell us about what happened there.
Pretty short. Were you the leader of the opposition then? Was that?
I doubt it wasn't
was
yet, but just explain it.
We saw Ryan Southwick pretty much carrying the Home Office. Ryan doing all of Margaret's work. Margaret pretty much offline, not attending a lot of the sessions.
And Ryan Southwick is useless as a
I
person.
wouldn't say Ryan Southwick's useless. He's a very nice lad a lot of the time.
Okay.
Ryan didn't do the best job, obviously, but Ryan did do what Margaret should have done some of the time.
Oh, we just had a call-in save chat about you. Apparently, what you've been doing recently is, if you can't reply to a question, you'll muffle your mic and move away from your desk. So I want you to answer this question quickly for me.
I have a laptop.
Yeah.
My mic's a bit inconsistent. I'm not moving away from my desk. I'm sat in my chair.
Okay. And then, what do you think about Dean?
Dean's a nice lad. Obviously, last time he didn't do the most brilliant job as Prime Minister, but he'll do okay.
So, if you had to choose another leader to be the Prime Minister who wasn't you, who would you choose?
Of my party?
No, not from your party, of another party.
Probably Josh Miller, actually.
No, you have to choose an actual leader of another political party currently.
Like a current party leader?
A current party leader of the new. Who would you choose to be the next PM? Of the new.
None of them are capable enough.
I need an answer. Who would you choose in the worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario.
Yeah. So you've lost the election.
I think we go to Lord's government.
Lord's government. You'd rather have a Lord's government than have Margaret or
martial law then.
Martial law. Okay. I respect that. I respect that grind. Okay. Thank you, Unmore Safe Chatter, for coming on.
You're very welcome, Sammy. Just a quick reminder to follow Forces News.
Okay. Now, we have a word from our sponsor, Sammy Studios, the #1 Roblox development company. Far superior in development.
Sammy Studios, Chad.
So cool, so cool. African Crackshop does not like this message because he is a rude individual. But yeah, Sammy Studios is great. Anyway, returning back to the Sammy Show. We'll be hopefully coming back soon with a election night special, possibly. It's hopefully going to be quite big. We're going to take on Conor Novak at his election night. We're going to bring it down. Conor Novak is going to be gone afterwards. The Sammy Show election night is going to be far superior. It's going to be the best. Other than that, thank you for tuning in. We now have a word from Dennis Monty.
So true.
Thank you, Dennis, for that excellent input. As usual, means nothing, like everything he says. Other than that, thank you for tuning in, and good night.